Could 100 UFC fighters beat a gorilla in a fight? No, seriously. Picture it. The octagon. The crowd is roaring, and across from one very confused silverback is a squad of elite martial artists, probably also confused. It sounds like the start of a bizarre action movie, or a Reddit debate that went way too far. But let's break it down like it's a real fight. Alright, before we unleash 100 UFC fighters into a hypothetical jungle octagon, we need to understand what kind of beast they're up against. And I'm not saying beast lightly. We're talking about a fully grown silverback gorilla, basically nature's version of a tank in fur. This dude weighs anywhere from 350 to 450 pounds, most of it solid muscle. His arms are longer than a Jon Jones reach stat, and each one could probably curl your entire friend group. Scientists estimate a gorilla can lift up to 1,800 pounds. That's a vending machine, with snacks still in it. His bite force? About 1,300 psi. To put that in perspective, that's like getting chomped by a crocodile with a gym membership. Your average heavyweight MMA fighter? He's tapping out if he even hears that kind of jaw power. Oh, and forget trying to outmaneuver one. These animals can run up to 25 miles per hour, and that's while crashing through trees like they're made of paper. They're not just fast, they're fast and mad. Also worth noting, gorillas don't fight with technique. They fight with pure, unfiltered chaos. No jabs, no feints, just rage and raw power. It's like if Brock Lesnar grew up in the jungle with no rules and infinite protein. Now let's get into the other side of this circus. 100 UFC fighters. That's not just a mob of gym bros. That's an army of elite athletes who train like lunatics, eat kale voluntarily, and have probably all been punched in the face more times than you've blinked today. We're talking about a collection of the best trained combat athletes on the planet. Wrestlers, strikers, submission specialists, and guys who have no idea how to not throw a flying knee during a wedding speech. Every single one of them is conditioned for pain, pressure, and performing in a cage with thousands of people watching. That's a mental level the average person doesn't even live on. So what does 100 fighters really look like? Imagine a swarm of heavyweights like Ngannou, Pavlovich, and Aspinall, literal tanks. A wave of cardio machines like Colby Covington and Merab Dvalishvili who will chase you for 25 minutes without blinking. A squad of jiu-jitsu wizards like Charles Oliveira and Demian Maia who can choke out your consciousness with a pinky toe. And of course, wild brawlers like Justin Gaethje or Tony Ferguson who simply don't believe in the concept of pain. But here's the problem. MMA fighters are trained to fight other humans, people with rules, predictable moves, and some level of fear of getting their limbs snapped. A gorilla doesn't have a fight IQ, but it also doesn't care. It won't tap out. It won't get tired. It won't stop, because Herb Dean told it to. It's a walking nightmare. So let's talk about a good scenario. The stage is set. A gorilla is standing in the middle of the arena, probably confused why it's not in the jungle, and 100 UFC fighters are lining up, stretching out, and realizing this might be the weirdest payday of their lives. Now let's assume they don't all charge at once. That's just a mosh pit with better cardio. Let's be smart. They strategize. First wave, send in the heavyweights. These are the big boys. Derek Lewis, Sergey Pavlovich, maybe tied to a vasa with a shoey-lying elbow in the other. The goal, shock and distract. Hit the gorilla hard, fast, and try to rattle it. But remember, a gorilla can take a punch, a big one. It's got muscle density that makes even heavyweight fists feel like mosquito bites. One backhand from the gorilla, that's a hospital trip, minimum. Second wave, the grapplers. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, maybe even Khabib if he decides to come out of retirement to wrestle a monkey. These guys try to get on its back, go for a choke, or isolate a limb. But again, it's not tapping out. You think a rear naked choke is going to make a gorilla say, "Nah bro, I'm done"? No chance. You'll be flung like a backpack mid-roll. Third wave, the strategists, maybe Wonderboy, Dominic Cruz, or GSP if he feels nostalgic. These guys try to analyze, find patterns, and hit from the outside, but time is limited. The gorilla isn't playing 5-round chess. It's playing smash whoever's closest. So what happens? Chaos. Pure chaos. The cage turns into a zoo exhibit run by lunatics. Bodies fly. Someone yells, "Armbar," Another guy is in the fetal position whispering regrets. Blood, sweat, banana peels maybe, and the occasional overhand right swirl in a tornado of primal madness. The arena is packed. Fans are screaming. Joe Rogan's on commentary, trying to stay calm, but his eyes say, "What are we doing?" Bruce Buffer just finished yelling, "It's time!" And even he looks like he's rethinking his life choices. In one corner, 100 of the baddest fighters on earth. In the other corner, a silverback gorilla that has no idea what's going on. And that's the worst part. It's stressed, confused, and full of adrenaline. The first victim, one poor soul, probably a brave welterweight who thought, "I'll tire it out," charges forward. Bad move. One swipe from the gorilla, and the dude goes airborne like a human frisbee. He lands somewhere near the commentary table. Buffer screams. DC is out the door. Panic sets in. Fighters scatter. Game plans are gone. It's no longer organize and conquer. It's don't get dismembered. The crowd realizes what's happening. The fans? Yeah, they're not safe either. The octagon wall was not built with gorilla wrath in mind. If that thing gets a running start and shoulder checks it like Prime Ngannou, it's going through. Suddenly it's not just 100 fighters at risk. It's 20,000 people in the splash zone of destruction. Security runs. Joe Rogan's halfway up the rafters screaming, "I told you!" And Dana White is Googling gorilla tranquilizers near me. Final scene, the aftermath: smoke, sirens, a broken cage, fighters limping, medics everywhere. Dana White holds a press conference looking like he just aged 10 years in 10 minutes. When asked if they'll ever do this again, he simply says, "No, never. I blame the internet." Let's be honest, this question wasn't born in a lab. It was born in the deepest part of the internet, the same place that gave us "Could Batman beat Goku?" and "How many toddlers could you fight before being overwhelmed?" But somehow, this question hit, because it mixes three irresistible things: violent strategy absolute, brain-melting absurdity. So after imagining the best-case scenario, the worst-case bloodbath, and the glorious middle ground of organized chaos, what's the verdict? Could 100 trained killers beat a single animal? Sure, in a turn-based video game where the gorilla takes naps between rounds and they all get steel chairs. But in real life, let's do the math. One silverback gorilla has the bite force of a crocodile's mood swings, the strength of a forklift having a bad day, zero regard for your jiu-jitsu black belt, and the cardio of someone who climbs trees for fun while being 400 pounds. Meanwhile, 100 UFC fighters have the best training on earth, a wide range of elite skills, the ability to take punishment, and also human skin. And here's the thing, the gorilla doesn't fight like us. It doesn't throw combos. It doesn't feint a left and roll under a right hook. It just goes full gorilla, like someone hit the Hulk smash button and never let go. Imagine 100 guys huddling, planning strategies, talking about angles and takedowns, and then boom, the gorilla throws a flying tire it found backstage and wipes out the front line like it's bowling night at the zoo. But wait, there's hope? Sure, if the fighters have a perfect plan, use teamwork better than the Avengers, somehow surround the gorilla without triggering its freak-out switch, and are okay with sacrificing like 20 of their own, then yes, maybe, they could wear it down, tire it out, jump on its back like a UFC version of Shadow of the Colossus. But here's the catch. They're fighters, not zookeepers. They train for people, not primal beast mode super monsters that eat leaves but fight like tanks. The real answer: don't fight a gorilla. This question isn't about who wins. It's about what we learn. And here's what we've learned today. Respect nature. Don't underestimate animals just because they don't have six-pack abs. And most importantly, don't put a gorilla in a cage with 100 UFC fighters. Because no matter who wins the fight, everyone loses their dignity. If you laughed, learned something, or are now Googling, "How fast can a gorilla run?" give us a like and subscribe for more insane breakdowns of questions nobody should be asking. But we answer anyway. Now go be safe out there. And if you see a silverback gorilla, just tap out early.